I was like, oh, this is very easy to put together, and I started looking for lines. Let's get into it. Heroes right here on LL Cool J's Rockin' Bells Radio.
All right. Nah. When I grew up, criminals were my heroes. The beanie from New Jersey drive over my earlobes. From jump, it was always fuck cops in the bureau. Mix of Casper, Harold Hunter, and De Niro. Now I'm with my kids, and we watching old off, and I'm like, damn. The one to be like, oh dog, something loose, and the blues, things like
Trust also is if that long ball comes, you got to trust your center backs that they're going to win those balls. Great job there, Mihailovic. That's where the U.S. have found some success jumping these passing lanes, winning balls.
Mihailovic just crosses back by Espy'S. And then he gets decked from behind, and the U.S. with a free kick in a good position on the way.
One game that we wouldn't have had to have that playoff, and the A's got swept.
That's next on Comeback Kids, the story of the 1995 Seattle Mariners. Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
I don't know why I signed up for this.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekday mornings at 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and the SXM app.
Network Radio.
If you look at what Miguel Cabrera's done his entire career, you look at Juan Soto,
Eduardo Perez.
These guys are able to keep any ball that they see fair, hit with the legs, throw the hands, and throw them in a path where they stay in the zone long enough to be able to keep them fair.
Baseball talk at the next level. MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 89, and on the SXM app.
What's too hard?
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
You're listening to MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM.
George Springer, airborne, snatches it out of the sky.
The experts of MLB Network Radio.
If you look at what Miguel Cabrera's done his entire career, you look at Juan Soto,
Eduardo Perez.
These guys are able to keep any ball that they see fair, hit with the legs, throw the hands, and throw them in a path where they stay in the zone long enough to be able to keep them fair.
Baseball talk at the next level. MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 89, and on the SXM app.
The 2000s are back. That's hot. And so are JT, Beyonce, Usher, and Rihanna. Along with the rest of the pop hits that shaped the sound of the new millennium. Sirius XM's Pop 2K, a non-stop commercial-free flashback to the era of boy bands, flip phones, and MP3s. On Channel 10. To hear this channel, activate your radio now. Call 844-711-8800 or head to SiriusXM.com/go to sign up quickly.
Amazing moments happen so much at SiriusXM. We want you to see them. SiriusXM Video lets you watch some of your favorite SiriusXM shows on the SXM app. Groundbreaking interviews, amazing in-show moments, behind-the-scenes footage, live performances, all come to life in a way you only imagined before. Plus, you can create your own personalized Pandora station based on the artist you love. And hear over 100 extra channels filled with ad-free music for every mood or occasion. Get your first 6 months of our Platinum plan for only $8.33 per month, plus fees and taxes. Just call 844-711-8800 to take advantage of this amazing offer.
Ball game game on Sirius XM. Finding your hometown broadcast on the SXM app is easy. Just click the favorite star and listen all season long. Showtime! MLB Network Radio is your home plate for baseball conversation and expert analysis. To listen to MLB Network Radio, activate your radio now. Call 844-711-8800 or head to SiriusXM.com/go to sign up quickly.
Did you know Sirius filled with ad-free music made for everything you do? Mashup channels, workout channels, channels for parties, or just chilling out and more. Expertly curated for any mood, occasion, or activity. Extra channels let you discover new music and enjoy even more variety from every decade and music style you love. Plus, you can watch some of your favorite SiriusXM shows with SiriusXM Video. And you can do it all along with listening in your car as part of our music and entertainment plan. Right now, we're offering SiriusXM subscription plans for as low as $6 a month, plus fees and taxes. Call 844-711-8800 to find out more about these amazing offers.
Rondo Deportes, bonjour, vidi vidi vici, let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton of Big C Sports. This is Charlton of Big C Sports, coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to me and people who love the universe. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor? On a beautiful July the 12th, 2023. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive yours, tell them I said sit ya, but the good Lord split ya. If that makes sense to you, as well as driving the fleet of Cadillac cars. What a beautiful day. I love doing Big C Sports. I think it's hump day. It's the day I won $750 million. Give that some praise. I had a dream about it last night. I'll talk about it more in the show. It was more than just a dream because I woke up wet. It's called a wet dream. Give wet dreams some praise. Believe me, when you win $750 million, you can follow Big C Sports Podcast on 27 podcast applications all across the universe. You can find us on Google, Alexa, Spotify, Speaker Podcast, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio Podcast, Castbox Podcast, Deezer Podcast, Podcast Addict, Podchaser Podcast, GeoSavant Podcast out of London, England, as well as India and Africa. You can find us on Podtail, Hubhopper, Stitcher Podcast, Radio Line Podcast, Repod Podcast, Luminary Podcast, Listen Notes, Podcast Wise, Podbang, Good Pods Podcast, Verbal Podcast, Podcast Podyssey, Podcast Republic, and the only one that used to scare me, but now it doesn't because I found Teddy. It's called allfees.ai. Give that some praise. 27 podcast applications, and there's another one trying to come aboard probably sometime this July. All Fair Level War and Dim Deer Hills. I want to tell you, I really do appreciate that. And you can also follow Big C Sports Podcast streaming OTT on 4 TV platforms: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon and Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. But you better have a smart TV, or you might sit there looking at a still picture, if that makes sense to you. I love doing what I've done ever since starting the Big C Sports Podcast. I love paying homage to our Veterans Crisis Hotline. They have a way of helping people. They really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. They will stand on their head to get our veterans some help. If you know anybody going through issues, post-traumatic stress disorder, 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255, or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. And when you do, you want to give them some praise, because we all need somebody to lean on. I know I need somebody to lean on. And it's so good leaning on somebody when somebody's leaning back. I'm trying to mix up Daddy Bitty Grass. We want the real Daddy Bitty Grass. Yeah, I'm still trying to do my best. But it's all fair and level. I really do appreciate that. I also want to pay homage to the sports betting community. The people that tell you I come with substantial risk. It's like buying a car that says no warranty included. I say, wait a minute. What does no warranty included mean? It means if you drive off the lot and the transmission falls out, we told you no warranty included. There's a reason they say no warranty included. They want to sell you the extra extended warranty, all's fair and level. But sports betting, they don't give you a warranty. If you lose your money, you're just out of luck. It's not like going to the bank and you put $500 in, you can't find it, and the bank says, well, your money's insured up to $250,000 per account. You say, okay, it might take us a day to find it, but we're going to credit you that money until we find where it is. Maybe you deposited your check into the wrong checking account. That's why I like going standing in line. You don't know what these computers are doing. What if they put your money in somebody else's account? I said, I want to come and do all the things that I gotta make possible. You know, life is amazing. But if you got the chance to do what you need to do in life to make life better, I just love making sure that money's insured. If you're dealing with an 800 gambler, your money is not insured. Not at all. Everybody has to bill. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to make sure that bank account is FDIC insured. If you're gambling, they're not insuring your money. They're telling you they come with substantial risk. If that sign is not loud enough or bright enough for you, why are so many people in gambling trouble? He's not a friend of mine, but a friend of mine, his friend just got out of jail because he owed some gambling debts. Whatever it is, he said he declared the gambling debts in a bankruptcy. But he went to jail anyway. He had a bench warrant, so they got to clear that up. But it's all because he was gambling with a company that says we come with substantial risk. If you have a problem gambling, 800 Gambler, a lot of people, they go into Vegas, but they don't always come home. So the slogan, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Oftentimes it's because you don't have enough gas money to get back home. It's how you look at it. Be careful, 800 Gambler. You see a lot of hitchhikers coming out of Vegas. They fly in and they walk out. Be careful when you're going down to Vegas, 800 Gambler. I want to say thank you to Xfinity Comcast TV and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, where God said, reparations now, reparations forever. You cannot rob God. How do you rob God? You rob him by withholding your reparations. Some churches call it tithes and offerings. Well, look at 1619 to 1865. There was no payment for black Americans. Even after that, 100 years of Jim Crow. And now reparations is on the book. It's on the top of the mind of the United Nations. May not be on the top of the mind for some of our conservative radio talk show hosts because they can't believe that they finally got to pay up. But they got to pay up. I tell you, my show is a little bit different. I do like no other show in the world. I always produce the show. My show is like, it's fresh daily, like the collard greens I'm about to chew up tonight. What did Al Green say? He said, tonight it's gonna be alright. As soon as I get these collard greens in my belly, I'm gonna feel alright. Tonight's the night. Come on, sing it with me, y'all. It's gonna be alright. As soon as I get these collard greens in my belly, I'm gonna feel alright. We want the real Al Green. That's not Al Green, that's Rod Stewart. Well, whoever it was. I want my collard greens, but I always walk and talk by faith, not by sight. Number one, I always produce the show. Listen up, you broadcast companies, you LIV. I'm asking for $6 billion. And I'm going to get it. Because I always, number one, produce the show. Number two, I direct all the topics. Number three, I broadcast all the shows. Number four, I do all of these sound effects based on the platform provided by the agency. We can all use more laughter in our lives. I love laughter. Number four, actually, that's number four. Number five, the commercials are done. And all my commercials go before the show and after. I don't stop. I keep going and going and going and going. And then number six, I have the stats provided. Number seven, the storytelling. I'm always telling stories. And number eight, the play-by-play. You saw it last night. And just as Big C said, runners are first and second. The cows for the pitch. Curveball, swung on in deep. Left field. Back to the wall. Homer. Say hello to my little friends. And I told you the girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep. And that's what happened last night when the National League came back late in the inning, if that makes sense to you. And who told you hit deep left field? Back to the wall. That was Big C. And that's why I deserve the $6 billion. And you broadcast, you companies know it. You sponsors know it. Don't make me tell the LIV that you been shucking and jiving. At the same time, the storytelling, I told you the play-by-play. I upload every show to 27 multiple podcast platforms out of New York City, and I live in Deer Hills, California. Number 10, I never missed a show since creating Big C Sports with the crew, and I love doing it that way. I love give me some praise. I'm one beautiful, intelligent black man, and I'm always rising and shining. I want to make everybody know, especially for you good old boys that talk about we don't need no reparations. United States Senate, 1862, the Homestead Act, it only benefited white Americans. That's not true. There were also white Europeans that benefited. No black people, the people that work for free in this country. I want to say the Associated Press. I want to pay homage to Janie Harr, the Associated Press, on March 29, 2023. She did an article on reparations. You know what she called? A sports broadcaster by the name of Charlton Curry. She also mentioned President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, California Governor Gavin Newsom, also California Task Force Chair Camilla Moore, Vice Chair Amos Brown, the country's best senator, Stephen Bradford, and doing work with the inimitable Reverend Tony Pierce, who's president and CEO of the National Black Wall Street Project. The goal to make millionaires. Give that some praise. You got to give that some praise. No more shucking and jiving. The time is now. And the good people of this United States, in our Congress and our politicians, they're finally ready to do it. You got to give this a praise. I know sometimes they make the wrong choices, but they're going to pass reparations for the sins of child slavery. Oh, why is that, Mr. Curry? If you Google the Survivors Today Act of 2017, the Justice Department, the Justice for Uncompensated Survivors Act of 2017 is called the Survivors Today Act of 2017. It's United States legislation that requires the State Department to report to Congress on the steps that 47 countries in Europe have taken to compensate Holocaust survivors and their heirs for assets seized by Nazi Germany and post-war communist parties. We got to do that. We know that's so important. We got to understand, if you love somebody, tell them, because we got to love our politicians, and we got to let them know that we appreciate them. We got to know that. We got to do that because they need our help. Sometimes they just get criticized. And everybody wants to be criticized at times, if it's called constructive criticism. And I understand that. You understand that? That's important. I want to make sure that I give our politicians some praise. Give them praise. Don't just criticize. They need our help. And we got to do the right thing by them too, by giving them support. It's not a zero-sum game. Everybody benefits from it in the United States. I got some Ukrainian brethren. They're coming to the United States getting $4,500. And we got Americans sleeping on the streets. Don't tell me there's not money to do it. It's there. Even United Nations Human Rights Chief calls for reparations for descendants of child slavery. I want to do this for every show because everybody knows it's important. I want to thank, number one, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Give him some praise because he mandated a task force of studying America's biggest crime and what it did. A lot of you good boys that are anti-reparations, if you were to go home and someone had broken into your house or your apartment and taken everything out, you wouldn't sit there and go, well, that's a pretty good thief. They got everything. They took everything out. You would call 911 and say you've been burglarized. And you would want your stuff back. And black Americans, descendants of chattel slavery, our answer is they didn't get a chance to get their stuff back. You know who stole it? The United States government allowed it to happen. So when people say, oh, I didn't own slaves, why would I have to pay taxes? It's not about you. There's money that's set up for emergencies in the United States that you know nothing about, and it don't come from your tax dollars. That's why you think Ukrainians are getting $4,500 for coming here. And you got people in the United States sleeping under overpasses. I want to say the California Reparations Task Force 16th meeting, making history. It was Thursday, June 29th, 2023. The location was the March Fong EU Secretary of State building in California. I want to give praise to a wonderful attorney. She's very erudite, amazing. Camila Moore, she's the chairwoman, brilliant. And then Dr. Emmett C. Brown, the vice chair, brilliant. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge. And then the best senator in the United States, the Senator Stephen Bradford, he's the one responsible for name, image, and likeness that's making all college kids get paid or have the right to get paid on their name, image, and likeness. That was Senator Stephen Bradford that did that. And then brilliant. And then another wonderful council member, Monica Montgomery Steppe, brilliant. Assembly member, Reginald Jones Sawyer, brilliant. Dr. Shell Grillis, brilliant. Lisa Holder, brilliant. Dr. Javon Scott Lewis, professor at Cal Berkeley, brilliant. And Donald K. Tamaki, brilliant, who also received reparations as a descendant of Japanese Americans that were interned. I want to give all of them some praise. And I also want to thank the inimitable Reverend Tony Pierce, who is the president and CEO of the National Black Wall Street Project. I want to give them all some praise because they're going to make reparations happen along with the executive order from the United States President. That's Joe Biden. I really do appreciate that. Everybody has their own thoughts about reparations. There's something that everybody needs to know because I am still in the process of reading this. There is the task force. It recommends major reparations. It's a 1,100-page report that provides recommendations for lawmakers, not the clergy, not your next-door neighbor, not your friend, not your brother, sister, mother, daddy, but for lawmakers. You know, the same lawmakers that were in position to allow slavery to exist in the United States of America. They allowed it to exist. They allowed it. It was a law. We had no rights. And now they're looking to repair it. You know, I was down at the Maserati dealership the other day. They have some cars for sale, and they have some cars being repaired. They have some for sale, and they have some being repaired. I said, what's wrong with the ones that are being repaired? They said, we got to follow maintenance. We have to repair things that run out. You know what's run out in the United States that needs to be repaired? Excuses. No more excuses. Give that some praise. No more excuses. If you have anything to say, read the 1,100-page report first. Quit shucking and jiving. They got most of us just talking about the game. And I do that too. But I keep my stuff real. As real as can be. And that's what I love about Big C Sports Podcast. I want to also talk about some things that are just important. Obviously, I'm going to touch on Major League Baseball, the All-Star Game. But there's something that's been lining up with me with the 9 Series DNA. And sometimes you meet the most beautiful 9 Series DNA in the history of the universe. And she imparts knowledge. She bequeaths so much knowledge with love and kindness. And it's about things that I've learned. I've kept saying I'm going to win the lottery. People say, oh man, you got a better chance of being struck by lightning. Well, be that as it may. I'm going to say that I won the Powerball. It's $750 million. Give that some praise. I've been seeing it in my dreams. Yeah, so what? They were wet dreams. I woke up wet. I didn't know where the water came from. And don't ask, don't tell. Clinton told us that. Don't ask, don't tell. Yeah, I was a little bit wet when I woke up. But who knows what? Maybe I'll spill some water on me, whatever. But the Mega Million and the Powerball, they're both over $500 million. In fact, the Powerball's over $750 million. Give that some praise. It only costs $2 to win. I know times when I had a chance to buy some tickets. But think about this. It's a chance for $2. I won the Powerball tonight. on July the 12th, and you have both Powerball and Mega Millions. They top 500 million. And the reason I won is because I played. And lottery players are in good luck this week because both major state jackpots are passing $500 million. It's on a $2 ticket. So when I realized I matched all the winning tickets to the Powerball for July 12th, the 2023, at first I thought it was only a dream. I used to be wrote up magazine. Okay, it was all a dream. It was not a dream. A wet dream? Yeah. But when I realized I won that money, I kind of paused. And I realized life has changed forever. I can finally afford a tank of gas. There Hills, California. $750 million. You know, I have a BMW 750. And so it makes sense. I have a BMW 750. And the lottery is $750 million. The seventh biggest jackpot in history. There's 7 again. And when I saw that I matched all winning numbers, I just kind of paused. And I didn't sign the ticket. I called my lawyer first of all. And she was salivating. But it's amazing, what would you do for a Klondike bar? So after the $750 million win, I thought I was joking when I said I want to be a billion-dollar corporation. But I'm going to be. All I needed was just about $250 more million. But after winning $750 million, it's amazing when you think about it. Because I'm just one person. And everybody has their own hopes and dreams. And it's nice to have that happen. And then people say, you're gonna take the cash amount or the annuity? Well, it depends on what the lawyer says. I think if you take the annuity, you go through the first year of being drunk in love and don't blow the money, and then you have a chance to do some financial planning. If you take the lump sum, you might run into one of those slick talking investment advisors, and they end up taking it. We heard about lottery nightmares. People that get swindled out of all their money. If you take the annuity, even if you have a bad year, you're still going to be okay. So that's what I'm thinking about. I'll just do that. But $750 million is life changing. I'm just trying to find a good church to give me some of the money to. I'm trying to find a good church to give some of the money to, because there are some churches that do good work for a lot of people. And so I really do appreciate that. But everybody has their own thoughts. They were telling me it's 1 in 292.2 million. Those are astronomical odds of winning the Powerball, but I won it. And I kept saying, I'm going to win that lottery, which requires winners to match the numbers of all 5 white balls as well as the red Powerball. And the odds of winning Mega Millions are even worse at 1 in 302.6 million. But the fact that I've won it, I remember there's times in life where I pretended that things were happening already, and within a certain moment of time, they came true. That's how Big C Sports got started. I was pretending I already had a sports show. I'd go walking around the house talking about sports, and my son Malcolm would say, "Dad, who are you talking to?" I said, "Oh, I'm just talking to God." And now I have a Big C Sports podcast, the #1 sports podcast in the universe. Give that some praise. I was speaking about it before it happened. And so for those of you who want to do whatever you want to do in life, you just got to go and act as if you already have it. In the Bible, I think I believe our God. I think it's Romans 4:17. You got to speak things that be not as though they were. Speak things that be not as though they were. If you do that, you have a better chance at things. And so I want to give that some praise because I talked about it beforehand, and now I can actually afford a full tank of gas. And gas is expensive out here in California. I want to touch on last night's but give me some praise. Come on. I'm going to be the bankers. I'm going to be the Big C Bank. The Big C Bank. I'm going to make loans with that money. I'm going to make sure that people can buy property and start business, etc. I'm going to give you a good interest rate. All fan level, or give that some praise if that makes sense to you. I want to talk about, it was 3-2, the final score. The National League 3, the American League 2, the 2023. Look at the 2023 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The score was almost like the date. It was 3-2 in 2023. Now, everybody loved the environment up in Seattle. It was wonderful. That crowd was amazing. The atmosphere was amazing. The weather was great. They didn't have the smoke that came in from Canada with everything burning in Canada. But the National League's losing streak in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game is over. And thanks to an 8-inning go-ahead 2-run home run by the Rockies catcher Elias Diaz, the National League won the Midsummer's Classic on Tuesday night. The pitch, curveball, struck on, hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. And that was one of the calls that I heard. I said, how about I get a job calling games? I listened to another broadcaster. We got the runners on first and second. The pitch is a curveball. That ball smashed deep. Is going left field. It may have enough room. It's back on the warning track. A home run. What do you know? The National League has taken the lead. I'm saying, how in the world did those guys get jobs calling baseball? You want to hear how Big C called it? We got runners on first and third. The pitch, curveball, swung in deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. I love saying the girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep. Now you know, without being biased, Big C's call was better than those guys that were given whatever $1 million to call those games. All's fair and level word Tuesday night. National League 3, American League 2. It snapped the American League's winning streak at 9 years. Prior to the Diaz home run, the National League had held the lead for only 4 innings in the last 9 All-Star games. The two clubs traded runs earlier in the game. The Rays' first baseman, Yandy Diaz, opened the scoring with a second-inning solo home run. The Marlins' second baseman, Luis Reyes, answered back with an RBI single in the 4th inning. The American League took a 2-1 lead into the 8th inning when Diaz stepped up to the plate. At runners on first and third, the count's full. The pitch, curveball, swung in deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. He said the girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep. It's all fair and level war. The Orioles closers Felix Bautista, he took him deep. The National League won 3-2. What a game it was. I like higher score games. I was hoping we have an 8-6 game or a 9-7 game, but 3-2 in 2023. What more can you ask for? The American League put the go-ahead run on base against the Phillies closer Craig Kimbrell in the 9th inning. The Gardenias star Jose Ramirez, he struck out to end the game. Even with the American League's recent 9-game winning streak, the All-Star Game series is fairly even, with the American League holding a 47-win, 44-loss, and 2-tie advantage. And I think about how great that game was. A lot of people love baseball. It's America's pastime 25, 30 years ago. But lately it's been football and basketball. But baseball has a chance. You know why they have a chance? Because they sped up the game. They sped up the game. They actually have a pitch clock, and it makes it a lot easier for people to play. It makes it easier to watch. It's something about the game of Major League Baseball. They keep tinkering with it, and the more they tinker with it, it's like the better the game gets. And that's what I love about the game. It's amazing to see what happened last night with those young players out there doing their thing in the beautiful weather in Seattle. What I love about it, it really reminds me, not every kid, but most kids play baseball at some time or another at the schoolyards when they get out with their friends. You got baseball mound, and you got the bases. If you don't have a base, you put someone's shirt down as a base, and you just run around. And you got first, second, third base, and then home plate and the pitching mound. On paper is a 1-2-3 first inning for the American League starter and Yankees ace Garrett Cole. He had his thing going. He had a right-hander, Adolis Garcia. He robbed Ronald Acuna Jr. at the wall for the first out in the All-Star game. Then Randy Areza, he did the same thing on Freddie Freeman in left field. The game's second out. At the same time, Garcia was not even supposed to start the All-Star game. The great Aaron Judge, Cole's teammate on the Yankees, was voted in as a starter, but he wasn't able to play. He was unable to play because he hurt his toe. Rumor has it he was bitten by a rat in New York City. When you see a rat, you better walk off the sidewalk. It's not like you see a duck in the duck booth. You got a rat on the sidewalk in New York City. You better walk away. Turn around and go the other way. That's a rumor anyway, because he had a toe injury. A toe! Ronnie Lott bit his finger off so he could keep playing. Now you got guys that won't play because they got a bad toe. Men are different nowadays. But be that as it may, Garcia replaced Judge in the starting lineup As the old saying goes, the ball will find you. The ball will find you. Let the ball find you. It certainly did that in the first inning. And then people love this setting in Seattle. Last year, the fans, they serenaded Juan Soto with future Dodger chants during the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium. And this year, the Mariners fans began the free agent recruiting process with a come to Seattle chants during the Shohei Ohtani's first and fourth inning at bats. It's amazing, the great Shohei Ohtani. He's definitely up for MVP honors again. Now, the Mariners pursued Ohtani aggressively when they first came over from Japan, though the circumstances have changed. Back then, it was only going to take a few $1 million to get him signed because of the international bonus rules. Now, the great Shohei Ohtani, he's looking at a $400 million or $500 million as a free agent. The price is going up a bit. Earlier this week, the great Shohei Ohtani, he reiterated the fact that his top priority is winning. His top priority is listening to Big C Sports. You got to give him some praise. His top priority is listening to Big C Sports and making sure that he supports reparations. Reparations now. Reparations forever. He said it sucks to lose. And the Mariners entered the break with a 45-44 record. They're 4 games back at the third and final wild card spot. The Mariners fans are doing their part with the Come to Seattle chants. And now the Mariners, they say, come to Seattle. Come to Seattle. Come to Seattle. Come to Seattle. Me like this track. Well, if they get him there, that's great. All fair and level war. Whether he goes or not, I think he looks better in a Dodger uniform or a Giants uniform. They're on the West Coast, but in California. But the Mariners players have to take care of business on their end and prove they can win before ownership opens up that checkbook. Diaz went deep. The Rays slugger Yandy Diaz opened the All-Star game scoring with his second inning solo homer against the Pirates' right-hand pitcher, Mitch Keller. Diaz entered the All-Star break with 13 home runs, only one short of his career high set in 2019. Bases empty, the counts for the pitch. Curveball, swallowed in deep. Center field, back to the wall. Home run! Say hello to my little friend. He said the girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep. After years of waiting and 2 high ground balls, Yandy Diaz, his power broke out as he arrived. And the amazing thing about him is he has a lot more growing to do. Diaz joins Carl Crawford in 2007 and Mike Zunino in 2021 as the only Rays to hit a home run in the All-Star game. Most notably, he is the 3rd Cuban-born player to go deep. So deep, put your butt to sleep. In the Midsummer Classic, the Hall of Famer Tony Perez, he did it in 1967, and 5-time All-Star Octavio Cookie Rojas, he did it in 1972. That's pretty good company from Cuba, if that makes sense to you. The other Diaz, he won it in his All-Star debut at age 32. The Rockies catcher Elias Diaz, he was selected to his first All-Star game this season, and in his very first All-Star game at bat, Diaz hit the go-ahead 2-run homer against the Orioles' mountain man Felix Bautista. Runners on first and third. They count for the pitch. Curveball, solid, in deep, left field, back to the wall. All right, say hello to my little friends. They say the girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep. I guess it's human nature. The great Michael Jackson told us all's fair in love and war, but 2 different Diaz went deep in the All-Star game. Yandy and Elias sounds like a law firm. And how about the Reds closers? Alex Diaz, he pitched 2. What a great name, Diaz. Diaz is the first Rockies catcher ever selected to the All-Star game, and the 5th Rocky to go deep in the All-Star game, joining Ted Helton in 2003 and Matt Holliday in 2008, Trevor Story in 2018, the great Charlie Blackmon in 2019. He hit the first leadoff chaining homer in the 8th inning or later of an All-Star game since the great Hank Baldock took Eric Gangdy deep in 2003. All's fair in love and war. I'm telling you, the game-winning homer, of course, earned Diaz the Ted Williams All-Star MVP award. What a great moment. Everybody loves baseball. I love baseball, and you love baseball too. The Rangers did something that had not been done in a long time, and long ago, in a galaxy far, far away. There were 6 Rangers on the field. In the second inning, Jonah Heim at catcher, Marcus Semien at second base, Corey Seager at shortstop, Josh Jung at third base, and Aldous Garcia in right field. And then Nathan Eovaldi on the mound. It was the first time that 6 teammates were on the field together during the All-Star game since 1951. And when you think about the other 6 Dodgers who were together on the field during the 8th inning at Detroit's Big Stadium in 1951, the great Don Newcombe, pitcher, the great Roy Campanella, catcher, the great Gil Hodges, first base, the great Jackie Robinson, second base. You know, he integrated baseball. And then Pee Wee Reese, he was a shortstop. But don't forget about the great Duke Snider. He played center field, and that's a collection of players, 5 Hall of Fame players, plus the great Newcombe, who was a 4-time All-Star, the 1949 Rookie of the Year, and both MVP and Cy Young in 1956. What? Say what again? Say it. What did Sam Jackson say in Pulp Fiction? Say what again? Say it. I said he was the MVP and the Cy Young Award winner in 1956. Come on, Sam Jackson, calm down, man. But I'm not sure the Rangers will be able to be in the World Series this year. But they do have a great team down in Texas. They say the stars shine bright deep in the night, deep in the heart of Texas. What is about Texas when people think last year it was the Houston Astros? The Houston Astros did their thing last year, and now will they get it done again this year? I don't know. But Houston's good. Dusty Baker's he's the skipper for the Houston Astros, but now the Texas Rangers, they're making some noise too. Just a couple of years ago, they were the abyss of Major League Baseball, but now they put some money behind it. They're not playing that Billy ball that the A's play, and they got a chance. I love baseball, and I think a lot of people do. And then when you think about All-Star games, obviously you got an injury. Romano exited with an injury. Everybody's biggest fear is an All-Star game injury. And unfortunately, Blue Jays closer Jordan Romano exited with the trainer in the 7th inning. He gave up a long foul ball to former teammate Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and the ball was originally called fair and a game-time home run, then overturned on replay, and then exited the field and headed to the clubhouse. That's the one thing you don't want to see is injuries, but injuries part of life. You either get busy living or you don't. You got to keep living. But doing an on-field interview with Fox, American League manager, the great Dusty Baker, Northern California's finest, Del Campo High School, also American River College, that good boy also played for the Dodgers. He said Romano has some tightness in his lower back while warming up in the bullpen. The Blue Jays later confirmed the same diagnosis. Hopefully, it's just a cranky back and nothing more, and Romano will be good to go when the second half of the season begins on Friday. A significant All-Star game injury would be a major bummer for any player, and that's something that we all pay attention to that. I got a little bit of stiffness. I got a little bit of stiffness too. It's in my knee. I've been running around the lake in Dim Deer Hills, California, and I thought, you know what? I'm trying to tighten up my six-pack. I'm trying to tighten up my gluteus maximus. And then I saw some young, they look like Marines. These guys, they look like they came out of a factory. There were like 30 of them. So they started running, and they were singing something about fighter, yo, go fighter, fighter, yo, go fighter, fighter, yo, go fighter, woo, 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 woo. And I'm thinking, man, that got me charged up. So I started running, and I kept up with them too. I kept up with all these Marines, and they were running at a pretty fast pace. I mean, I kept up with them for about 35 yards. And then I felt something tighten up in my knee. I said, there it is. And then my knee's been swollen for the last couple of days. I think what happened is I didn't sing the same song they were singing. Oh, fair level war. The National League losing streak is over, and the American League came into the season having won the last 9 All-Star games. That streak is over. The National League is back in the win column for the first time since 2012. Even with this year's loss, the American League has won 21 of the last 26 All-Star games, and that's certified All-Star game dynasty. Perhaps Tuesday's win is the start of a long All-Star game winning streak for the National League. Things could change. It's just about how the ball bounces. But I love the fact that we had great weather up in Seattle where it tends to rain a lot. It tends to rain quite a bit up in the great Pacific Northwest. But the gods did whatever they could. And I guess they didn't cloud seed because the weather was perfect in Seattle. Cloud seeding. Yeah, there's something called weather. They can control the weather. It's all fair and level. They can control the weather. But give that some praise. It was a great turnout for the All-Star game in 2023, and I love giving them praise. You know, everybody has their own thoughts about reparations, and I believe that when you think about fairness and equality, I think reparations, in fact, I know that reparations would be great for the country. It's great for the United States of America because it's about liberty and justice for all. It's about fairness. And that's why I love being part of the National Black Wall Street Project, just being able to understand what they're doing to create millionaires for Black Americans. And the inimitable Reverend Tony Pierce, President and CEO of the National Black Wall Street Project. There's a lot going on. He's been stomping in politics for over 50 years and doing his thing with a lot of lawmakers, Senator Stephen Bradford and Reggie Sawyer, as well as California Governor Gavin Newsom. There's a lot of great things going on in California, and I just want to give them praise because we all need someone to lead, fall, or get out of the way. And they're leading. I don't have time for shucking and jiving. If you don't believe, then get off the team. I don't want to hear none of that crap about, well, how you know they're going to pay? What makes you think they can do it? Well, what makes you think they're going to pass reparations? Well, why would you think they're going to do it now? Get off the team. You don't have time to talk to a lot of people. It's like a surgeon being in surgery. You can't have people on your team and your medical staff saying, yeah, but what if you cut the wrong vein? Yeah, but what if you don't put the vein back together? What if Humpty Dumpty sits on the wall and Humpty Dumpty has a great fall when all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again? You don't need those naysayers. Just like me winning the Powerball, you got to say things before they happen. Just like me saying that Big C Sports Podcast existed before it even existed. You got to say those things before they happen. Life is like that. People spend a lot of time planning on their life, planning on how to go through college, how to get through high school, how to get through elementary school. Next thing you know, you gotten through college, and then you start living your life. You know, good and bad things happen to people. You got to decide. I was telling a friend today, oftentimes the universe, it gives us two doors. There's day and night, so that's what I'm saying, two doors. One side of the door, you have a lot of pain, you have shenanigans, you have deceitful people, you have the people that want to hurt you, people that talk bad about you behind your back, people that want to pull you down. They're called crabs in a barrel. That's what they're called, crabs in a barrel. On the other side, the other line, the good line, you have faith in God, you have hope, you have love, peace, soul, prosperity, people who want to see you win, people who want to be in your team, people who actually love you, people that don't use their words to tear you apart, people that try to lift you up. You know, they call them usually people who pray. The praying world. The praying world, oftentimes, they will try to pray you up, not beat you down. And the same thing in life happens with everybody. There are people who don't believe in anything until they see it. That's just the way they are. Because their life is that way. They don't believe in anything. And then there are those who believe in everything before it happens. Isn't that something? Which line you going to stand in? Give that some praise no matter what you choose. So now, fighting for the 2023 Espy's. Think about the Espy's. It's taking place tonight in Southern California. They call it the grandest night in sports. They say it's here. As some of the top athletes from around the world, they gather in Los Angeles, California to celebrate and honor the past year in sports at the 2023 Espy Awards. Give that some praise. I love giving the praise, been watching it for years. Big C Sports has also been Espy nominated, but I'm not part of the club. It's like trying to be in a fraternity where you don't let them brand your arm with an iron. So this year's Espy's, abbreviated for Excellence in Sports Performance, yearly marks the 31st year of the award show, and some championship athletes will be in attendance, and not one of those athletes attended California Reparation Rally, including those from the NBA champion Denver Nuggets, Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. They weren't there. In addition to the awards for individuals and teams, the Espy's will also honor inspiring and courageous athletes with the Arthur Ashe Award for courage. You know who has courage? Big C Sports, because I was at the Reparations Task Force rally in California. Give me some praise. Because it wasn't just about me. It's about a legacy of people So when they started calling these guys up on the stage, not one of them showed up at the Reparations Task Force meeting in California. You know who was there? Big C Sports was there. I was there. So you want to talk about the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage? That goes to Charlton Curry at Big C Sports. Give that some praise. Of all the athletes that are going to be interviewed about what they did for themselves, not one was interviewed by Janie Hard, the Associated Press, about reparations for the descendants of chattel slavery. Only Charlton Curry was. But you watch how the mainstream is going to put athletes up on the stage and act as if they did something for people. So I say the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage, that goes to Big C Sports. You give that some praise. Because I spoke at the Reparations rally. And I said, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Reparations now, reparations forever. And I'm the only sportscaster in the universe that talks about it every day. Some of these guys are going to go down there and get a trophy for not talking about anything that's important. And that's their choice. So I got the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage goes to Charlton Curry. The Jimmy V Award for Perseverance and the Pat Tillman Award for Service, it goes to Charlton Curry at Big C Sports. Charlton Curry at Big C Sports was the only sportscaster in the universe that showed up at the reparations rallies for descendants of chattel slavery. None of these athletes were there. Not one of them. Now, host Steph Curry, NBA player for the Golden State Warriors, he spoke for the Espy'S. It was last year, 2022, at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles. So while Steph Curry was speaking as a host for the Espy'S, Charlton Curry was speaking as a co-host for Reparations. Which one you going to give praise to? The one that's speaking for all people of color, descendants of chattel slavery? I love Steph Curry's game, but he should have been at the Reparations Task Force rally because that's about all black people. I was there. Don't tell me you can't be there. People selling commercials for hamburgers and hot dogs and sandwiches. Big C Sports was there. So the Espy'S in 2023 will take place tonight, July 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles. It's called Espy'S Red Carpet. They began the show at 4 p.m. Not one of them showed up at the California Reparations rally at the Secretary of State building. But Charlton Curry was there at Big C Sports. You got to give that praise. Who do you give praise to? Somebody who's trying to help all black Americans or somebody just helping themselves? That's a fact. These guys can fly all over the country. In fact, fly all over the world. But the most seminal moment in the history of the United States for black Americans since the Emancipation Proclamation, not one of them showed up. As if they don't know they have black people in their legacy and in their lineage. So the 2023 Espy'S, it will air on ABC, already underway 8 p.m. East Coast time. The broadcast for Mountain and Pacific time zones will be tape delayed until 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. local time, respectively. The Arizona broadcast will also begin at 7 p.m. local, and the Espy'S can also be streamed live via ESPN3. So award awards will be given out at the 2023 Espy'S. There will be 22 awards given out Wednesday to both individuals and teams in professional and college sports. And I'm telling you right now, the Espy'S should go to Charlton Curry of Big C Sports because he's the only one in the universe that's pro reparations for descendants of chattel slavery, which most of these athletes come from. And they don't even stand up for their own ancestry. And that's why I say the winners for the Arthur Ashe Award and the Courage Award and the Jimmy V Award for Perseverance and the Pat Tillman Award for Service is Charlton Curry at Big C Sports. Janie Hard, the Associated Press, interviewed Charlton Curry at Big C Sports. She didn't interview those athletes. The Arthur Ashe Award for Courage, U.S. Women's National Soccer Team, Jimmy V Award for Perseverance, the Liam Hendricks, Pat Tillman Award for Service, Buffalo Bills training staff. Not one of them showed up for the California Reparations Task Force. Charlton Curry did. You got to give that some praise. A majority of the award nominees will be at the Espy'S, and others will be there to present awards. And some of the people expected to attend this year's event, you got Angel Reese, Mike Tyson, Travis Kelce, DeMar Hamlin, Pat McAfee, Livy Dunn, Quavo, Patrick Mahomes, Donna Kelsey, Jamal Murray, Meta World Peace, Aaron Gordon, Michael Block. Not one of them were at the reparations rally for California descendants of chattel slavery. You know who was there? The real Espy'S award winner. That's Big C Sports. Give that some praise. Most all of these athletes, they come from a legacy that reparations will help. Why didn't they show up? Did someone tell them not to come? Did someone tell them not to come? Just because you're rich and famous, it doesn't mean you turn your back on your legacy. A lot of them come from a legacy where people didn't even have the right to vote, were beaten, sold, raped, murdered, lynched, didn't have a chance to buy anything, couldn't own land, had no pensions, no salary. They had to work 20-hour days whether they were sick or not, watching their kids being auctioned off from plantation to plantation, seeing black soldiers fight the Civil War, joining the Union for President Abraham Lincoln so they could get their freedom and 40 acres of the mule. And now we have present-day athletes that don't even show up. But Big C Sports did, and that's going to get you some praise. Just give that some praise. All fan level war. I speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you God. I want to pay homage to my beautiful family legacy on my beautiful mother's side. You can give that some praise. My great-grandmother called her Mama. I showed up for her. Beautiful, loving, kind woman, always making sure lots of love in the family and lots of food in the belly. My beautiful great-grandfather called him Pop, former military man and Negro League baseball player. I showed up for him. Always can fix anything, planes, trains, and automobiles. Really do appreciate him. Then my beautiful grandmother, Mud Deer, a beautiful, loving, kind woman, a seer, could look at that person and tell you a lot about their past, present, and their future. I showed up for her. My great-granddaddy, my granddaddy called him Hezekiah, another one of a man, a seer, could oftentimes look at a person and tell you a lot about their past, present, and their future. I showed up for him. And then I can always depend on my mama, the most beautiful mama in the history of the universe. Go to the Head Start program, a food program, and coach an all-boys Little League baseball team to the championship of the universe. Give mama some praise. I showed up for her on my father's side. My mama was the best person I ever met in my life. I showed up for my mama for reparations. On my father's side, my granddaddy called him Albert Curry. He was a pastor. He had 2 churches in Oakland. He built the third one in Central California with his own hands. He also owned 2 gas stations in Oakland, one on Bancroft, the other on Foothill. He also owned 40 acres of land. I showed up for him at the reparations rally. Then my beautiful grandmother, Alberta Curry, working side by side with my grandfather with the 2 churches in Oakland, the third one they built in Central California, also running the 2 gas stations in Oakland on Bancroft and Foothill. And I showed up for her. She told me when I was 8 years old, she said, there's something about your voice. I love hearing you speak. And now I'm on 27 podcast applications. Nobody at the Espy'S tonight is on 27 podcast applications. And not one showed up at the Reparations Task Force rally that helped most of their ancestry. Big C Sports was there. My beautiful father, former United States Air Force fighter pilot, chief mechanic, always saying develop your mind to its highest extent. I showed up for him. My beautiful brother Todd, with that bombastic voice, sound like thunder and lightning when Todd would speak. Always saying go forward. I showed up for him. My beautiful daughter Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe. 2 degrees in 3.5 years from a major university. Also helping set up the very first interview for Big C Sports. I showed up for her. You can develop your mind to its highest extent, Daisy. Trust God. Always pray. Isaiah 54:17. That no weapon formed against you will prosper. One time she scored 6 goals in a soccer game. Daisy with the kick. Daisy with the goal. 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 With her left foot, she's a right-footed kicker, so she's ambidextrous. I showed up for her. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. My beautiful son, Malcolm, the most handsome son in the history of the universe. College student, very smart, erudite. He taught me how to Google. He said, Dad, you want to see Big C Sports on TV? I said, sure. He said, pick up the remote, aim it at the TV and say, play Big C Sports. You'll see your show come up. That's before it was even on the air. In a short period of time, it's on the air now. on 4 TV platforms: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Malcolm, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. I showed up for you. Isaiah 54:17. That no weapon formed against you will prosper. You can be anything you want to be. And then Big C, with all that wealth and knowledge over the years, like my great-granddaddy coming out of that barn, always saying, you gotta believe, you gotta believe, you gotta believe. Let's get ready to rumble. I showed it for him. Big C Sports Espy nominated. No matter who they give the award to, ask them who does what I do. I'm one beautiful, intelligent black man. I always produce, I direct, I broadcast shows, I do all the sound effects. I do all the commercials. I do the storytelling. I do the play-by-play. I upload the show to 27 platforms, and I never miss a show. Not one of them has done what I do, and I do it with God as my right-hand man, if that makes sense to you. I always praise God. You can give that some praise. Everybody knows that's true. Well, that's the real Espy. May lightning strike. $750 million. I won the lotto, and I only had a wet dream. Wet dreams are good. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Well, as I always tell you, if you're gonna drink, don't drive. If you're gonna drive, don't drink, because mothers against drunk drivers are mad, and fathers against drunk drivers are mad. It's one of the easiest things not to do. You can call Uber, you can call Lyft, you can call a cab, you can sleep it off. The life you save might be your own. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, back in the day, there's a man known by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, you float like a butterfly, you sting like a bee, rumble, young man, rumble. He said, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Ali would say, I'm so pretty, I can't possibly be beat, because all these Big C burgers make me light on my feet. That's why I float like a butterfly, and I sting like a bee. My beautiful mother always says, there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. If you're going through that garbage, just pick up the phone and call 911. Believe me, people change when the police show up. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. As I always tell you, on every Big C Sports Show, I thank you, I appreciate you, and I hope that you have a super, fantastic day. Reparations now, reparations forever. Said from the great President Abraham Lincoln. Reparations now, reparations forever. Said in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Reparations now, reparations forever. And said one more time, like the great Frankie Beverly. Reparations now, reparations forever. Have a super, fantastic day.